What I've got here is the new version 2 Sexy Strip from Enhance, and in this video obviously going to fit this, show you the differences between this and the version 1 and why this is more heat resistant. So first off, let's explain what the issues were with the original version of the Sexy Strip, and this is it here. This is what I've removed from my car. This is version 1. So this suffered from two issues which were both heat related. And the first was the self-adhesive strip here, which stuck it to the underside of the vent in the dash. And during hot weather, when the internal cabin temperature got very high, as it does with the Tesla because of the glass roof, this started coming unstuck. And then the second issue is what many describe as delamination. And effectively, the strip was expanding and coming apart. And again, that was related to heat. The adhesive that holds this strip together was sort of melting with the heat and failing. So I can show you why at the end here, because I have taken this strip apart. So the Sexy Strip contains just three components. You've got this plastic inner channel, and this is effectively the carrier of the LED strip there. And the LEDs reflect the light through the strip. So you just see this front edge here and see the reflected light travelling through this clear plastic strip. These are the LEDs here. This is the underside of it. There you can see the LEDs, and they sit in a channel at the back of the strip there. And then you have this foil which holds it all together. So the foil wraps around the LED strip, keeps it tight in the channel, so then any light coming from these LED strips is coming through the front edge of this clear plastic channel. So the sort of delamination effect was simply this glue from this foil strip, foil tape that's holding it all together was coming undone. So it's expanding like that, primarily at the bottom. The LEDs would then come out of the little channel that it sits in, and quite simply you were then seeing the light directly from the LED rather than only the light coming through the plastic strip. So you were seeing the light from the edges of the LED there as this tape opened up effectively. So now Enhance have introduced this new version 2. So let's run through what's changed with this. So they've now changed the manufacturer of the strip, and it's now 1mm wider apparently. So the original strip was, 8mm. Let me just double check that. Yeah, the original strip was 8mm wide. The new one now is 9mm wide. And that has allowed them to put wider self-adhesive tape on the back. So the original strip had 3M VHB tape, and this is 5mm because this is the spare roll that you get in the original pack. And the new tape is again the same 3M VHB, but this is 6mm now. Apparently there's new adhesives in here, which I assume is the adhesive on this foil which holds it all together. So that should now be more heat resistant in the new version. But as well as that, there's a double layer of protection now because they've shrink wrapped the whole assembly in this clear plastic, clear heat shrink, and you can sort of see the end of it there. So now it's not completely reliant on that foil. The whole thing has been shrink wrapped in plastic. The other thing that I criticised on the version 2 was the thickness of this cable and of this joint here where the cable joined the LED strip. On version 2 it's exactly the same cable, but the joint is a little bit thinner. Not by much, but that is going to help. It has the same plug on the end, and it must be the same controller as well, because in my case I have just got a new strip. I don't have a new controller or anything else or any packaging. They've just sent me the strip. There is one difference though. The original mounting tool to help to align this isn't wide enough, because that is for the narrower strip and this is now 1mm wider. But I'm going to get a file in here and open this channel out a bit more so I can use this tool to mount this in the right place. So let's just see if I can widen this alignment tool by 1mm using this little file. This channel has had over 15 million views, yet only has 40,000 subscribers, whereas it should be 3 to 4 times that, because over 90% of the viewers are not subscribed. Please do, it's completely free, it's only a click for you and it really does help. So now let's get this installed in the car. And I'm not going to film all of this because I've done a video on the channel on how you install these. Actually, I've done 2 videos, I think. But I am going to get the cable in here first, so this end is sort of in the right place, because it helps when you haven't got another pair of hands. It helps to get this end hooked up, or the cable hooked up in there, so this end is supported while you start at this end and stick it along that way. So I'm getting the cable through the back of the dash here, so this will all be free, and then I can connect it back to the other cable coming up from the controller down in there. So that's now connected up, and of course the strip is now illuminated, and it's definitely got sort of an opaque sheen to it now that it's all wrapped in this clear heat shrink. So it does look a little bit different. It's not quite as sort of bright and as vivid as before, but when that's set back in the vent there, it will look just as good. It's not really an issue at all. Obviously it's more advantageous that it's more heat resistant now. So next we've got to apply this primer or adhesion promoter, and reading the instructions on the back, it says it's for applying on plastic surfaces, and it says first apply the primer on the surface and paste the product after 5 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do. Wipe that along the top side of that vent, give it 5 minutes, and then stick the strip up. So I've got some bits of foam packaging which I've used along the length of the strip just to hold it roughly in place, which allows me to sort of move it that way so I can get start position right, because when you've only got one pair of hands and it's flopping all over the place, it's very difficult when you've peeled the red protective tape off to hold that in the right place. So that will help quite a bit, and as I go along with the little alignment tool, I can pull these out and hopefully it will all stick in the right place. That's the plan anyway. So let's get this underway. This isn't filed properly, it's not great, it doesn't really hold it tight, doesn't hold it very well at all really, but possibly better than nothing. So hopefully, as I peel that off, this alignment tool is going to put it in the right place. It's not. That's gone further in. Let's just line that up there. Is that right? It's not easy putting these things up. I'm sure the tool could have been better. Let's see if I can do that again. What I don't like doing is pulling adhesive strips down once they've gone into place. sod it, that's going to have to do. Right, go around the other side. Yeah, I'm not very happy with the way this has gone. That alignment tool didn't really work after that filing. So if you're putting this up, hopefully you'll get the full kit and you'll have a proper alignment tool. Because here it's quite close to the edge, dips in, and then it went further to the edge again there, which I've restuck that end. But I'm not very happy with that. But I'm not going to risk pulling that down. Just leave it as it is for now. But I made a better job with the version 1 first time round. Okay, so now I've got this powered up. I've made a second cock up as well. Or the strip is now longer. But this is going too far this way. And as you can see, it sort of drops down a little bit here. That's because it's ended up being over the chamfer here on the end of the dash. So the whole strip needed to go that way by, I guess, about 5mm. But when I look at this end, yeah, I suppose I've got about 5mm gap there. I thought I'd push that up further enough, but obviously that was my mistake. But I do have a feeling that this strip is a little bit longer than version 1. So when you're mounting yours, make sure you are right up to that diagonal bit inside the dash there. So I've got like a little finger's worth gap there. So yeah, I cocked up there again. So that's why I make these videos, so you can learn from my mistakes. So let's change the colour. Yeah, that looks good. Looks pretty much the same as it did before, of course. And of course, nothing else has changed with the functionality with version 2 because that controller and the software are still the same. So I hope you found that useful. If you have, please do click the thumbs up. That really does help. And thank you to Enhance for sending me the version 2 product early so I could make this video. If you like the video, please do click the thumbs up button, and leaving a comment also helps too. Plus, of course, subscribe if you're not. If the video saved you time or money, a little support via Ko-fi or the Super Thanks button would mean a lot. There's over 1,300 videos on the channel, so have a browse, use the search, and have a look at the playlists. And here's 2 videos you may want to check out.